morning, Belize. Tonight, progress pushes on, even as warnings grow louder. Government presses ahead with cruise port expansion, despite stiff resistance from environmental groups. Relief on the road after weeks of tension. Bus fares find a middle ground. Gun owners take note. Restrictions ease, but responsibility tightens under new rules. Another troubling arrest within the police ranks raise fresh concerns about domestic violence. And on Caye Caulker, public pressure pays off. Protests force a reversal, and Longstall Police Station construction is back on track. These stories and more begins right now. This is News 5.
We believe technology shouldn't just be functional. It should make your home uniquely yours. Design your smart home with the full range of Samsung appliances and TVs. Equip your kitchen with smart and stylish fridges, advanced microwaves, and whisper-quiet dishwashers, bringing smart living to the heart of your home. Make daily tasks simple with efficient smart washers, powerful dryers, or an all-in-one laundry hub that adapts to your lifestyle. Experience true-to-life colors and spot-on sound with the Samsung Q LED Smart TV. Connect all your spaces instantly with the Smart Thing app for seamless control wherever you go. Get all your Samsung products today with the peace of mind that only the 1-year warranty from the authorized distributor can give you. So stop by your favorite location and start designing your smart home today. Only at Cellular World.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Thursday, April 23rd. I am Sabrina Daly. Belize's ports keep the country's economy moving, but a coalition of environmental groups say the way one major port is set to expand could leave a lasting mark on the coastline, nearby communities, and even Belize's climate goals. That concern is driving a formal challenge now before the National Environmental Appraisal Committee. In a detailed submission, the coalition is challenging the environmental and social impact assessment for Port of Belize Limited's proposed cargo expansion and cruise port development project. While the plan includes cargo upgrades, it's the cruise port expansion that has environmental advocates most alarmed. They warn that what happens next could alter Belize's coastal future. Today, News 5's Paul Lopez sat down with members of the coalition to break down their concerns and what's at stake. He brings us this report.
In a letter sent on April 1st to the Department of Environment, the Coalition to Save Our National Heritage warns that Belize is charging ahead with major port developments without a clear, legally binding national port strategy to guide the process. The warning letter arrived just 8 days before the National Environmental Appraisal Committee approved the project. Even so, the committee pushed forward, approving it despite the concerns. The group, which represents more than a dozen environmental NGOs, argues that the absence of the national framework creates serious gaps in environmental oversight and weakens accountability at a critical moment for the country.
This was an issue that has already come up multiple times. In fact, this specific development, right? This is the third time it is now going up for approval. So this isn't a conversation from yesterday. This is a conversation that started a long time ago. And there was a promise from the government of Belize that there would be an undertaking to develop a national ports policy. In fact, in 2021, there was a clear press release signaling the direction of the government that indeed, based on the recommendation of the public, of different organizations that were on top of this issue, that there needed to be some clarity as to how we were going to move ahead in terms of ports in Belize.
A major concern centers on how dredge material from the project would be handled. while the proposal was revised to create artificial mangrove islands. The NGOs say the environmental and social impact assessment is missing critical studies to show the structures would be safe and stable over time. They warn that without data on erosion, settlement, and storm resilience, the risk of collapse or unintended sediment release remains unresolved.
I almost feel like it's kind of a red herring that they've tossed into us, because now here we are talking about whether it's going to work or not. Regardless of whether it works or not, the fact that they're proposing to dump that volume of dredge spoil from the bottom of the port and from all of this other area, that dredged up material is likely to be full of metals, pathogens, other things that need to stay buried. So the minute you dredge it up and then they're going to dump it back in the sea anywhere, even if it worked as a mangrove island, which is totally we don't know the probability of it, whether it will work or not, because they haven't done the studies. But that the water quality, the potential for really deteriorating water quality downstream from that is there.
Beyond marine damage, the coalition warns the ESIA ignores air and noise pollution. They argue cruise ships burn massive amounts of fuel at dock, exposing residents to emissions and undercutting Belize's promise to cut greenhouse gases.
If you look at how these ships are evolving, these cruise ships are evolving, they're not getting smaller, they're getting bigger, and they're meant to hold more people. More people mean food, just waste generally, and it's how is that handled? How is that being disposed of? What's going to happen? And the idea of talking about all these cruise ports are because they want to attract these larger vessels. It's widely proven and said that these are, large, consumers of fossil fuels, lots of pollution, as Lisa mentioned, air. But there is a solid waste component. There's food waste component. There are food demands, that comes with these larger ships. And Belize is only so big.
The NGOs also dispute claims of stakeholder engagement, stating that no consultation was ever held with the Belize Mangrove Alliance, a statement they want publicly retracted.
We were also disturbed that at the public meeting consultation in Belize City, they kept assuring that the local NGOs were consulted, and we have since confirmed, and there was no consultation with the local Mangrove Alliance organization, nothing like that. So that's a major red flag right there.
I think this is a project in which the duty of care has now just been elevated. Why do I say that? Because my understanding is now we, the people of Belize, the government of Belize bought this port, took over this port, right? How have we bought this port? It has to be taxpayers' dollars, right? That's what I understand. So when it comes to duty of care and the consultation, what are the meaningful pathways through which the Belizean public is being consulted on this very, very critical development?
In their submissions, the NGOs recommend that the cruise port component of the project be denied for a third time, allowing the developer to return with a revised proposal that meaningfully addresses environmental and social risks. But as we know, that project has been approved and is moving full steam ahead. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
While environmental groups have flagged major issues with the cruise port side of Port of Belize Limited's expansion plans, they're not opposing the entire project. In fact, the coalition is backing the proposed cargo expansion, which they say is crucial to Belize City and the country's economic growth. Dr. Melanie McPhail, founder of the Healthy Reefs for Healthy People initiative, explains why she believes the cargo port is essential and where the line is being drawn.
Yes, to the extent that, to me, the biggest problem is this straightening of the natural channel, because that involves the enormity of the dredging, and it's not even dredging. That's not the right term for a lot of what they need to do. They need to cut bedrock and excavate that, So that's a whole lot harder than just dredging sand. So that is the piece. So if, you don't need that for the cargo, it would simplify things. It makes your journey a little a little less winding, but it's not required. And the port, I mean, the commercial port is there. It needs to be there. It's Belize City. The cruise terminal, I mean, back to what Elma was saying, that's the large scale policy decision that the government and the people need to make, looking at BTB did a cruise. What year was that? That was back in like 2010 or something. They did this nice sustainable tourism plan that talked about, where the cruise port should be. And it was like, I don't know, we're not even using documents that we have, but we need this national level approach for the cruise terminal. It's different than the commercial port.
Looking ahead, environmental leaders warn Belize may be reaching a tipping point. Chairperson of the Belize network of NGOs, Dr. Elma Caye, says that without a clear national port development plan, both the environment and the economy could feel the strain. With multiple cruise port projects now on the table across the country, Dr. Caye argues Belize can realistically support only one massive cruise port, and the decision made now will determine the road ahead.
If we don't have a plan, then development becomes ad hoc. And with all this talk of several ports, then we have to consider the question of cumulative impacts. And there has been a lot of feasibility studies that have shown that we can only accommodate one of those ports. And obviously that would also be environmentally, because imagine 3 huge cruise ports for Belize. So that was the reason behind that. And I think what we're saying here is there needs to be a clear plan and a clear social contract for how we're moving ahead with these developments. And we understand the need for the upgrade of the cargo port, but I think the cruise port is what is in question.
With NEAC's stamp of approval, one thing is certain: the project will move ahead in the face of the coalition's concerns. But Prime Minister John Briceño has already committed to taking the concerns seriously while the project is being developed. We will continue to follow. Even as environmental groups warn that Belize risks moving ahead without a clear national port plan, government is pressing forward with the Port of Belize expansion. Despite a formal request urging regulators to halt approval, the project has received the green light. Sustainable Development Minister Orlando Habet says the concerns are familiar territory, noting earlier proposals were rejected over unresolved flaws. This time, he insists changes have been made, and government is prepared to address outstanding issues as construction moves ahead.
Look, this proposal isn't really, in all terms, a very new proposal. It is something that came up a few years ago with a different company trying to do the same project, but that project was in a way denied by NEAC, or at least what they did was to inform the company, listen, if you want to go ahead with this, there are certain mitigation measures that you have to do, and there are certain things that you have to do differently. We can't tell you exactly what to do because that's your job through presentation of an EIA, but we can more or less tell you what it is, guide you. But the company refused. So years later, the government acquired the Port of Belize. And so now we have a submission for a new proposal. And so really and truly, we have gone through that many times before. And I think the chief environmental officer mentioned that when he was questioned about it. And so there's not really much more that you can do. They also went through the immediate community in Port Loyola, speaking to them, having conversations with them. But as I mentioned, even in the first proposal that was done some years ago, and now the geotechnical information and the materials that will be used were already specified so that then they can be, whatever materials are dredged, can be contained. However, in the first one, they had a lot of flaws, which they did not want to address. In this one, those have been addressed, saying, listen, this will be the containment area. This is what we are going to do.
And while NGOs have raised concerns about a lack of consultation with the Belize Mangrove Alliance, Habet says they received no communication from the group, not even a letter. Coming up, another officer arrested and troubling questions about a growing pattern of domestic violence inside the police force.
Let's get it on. The race for first is tightening up and heating up in the NEBL. And this Friday in Belmopan, the Belmopan Trojans try to stay alive versus the steaming hot Caye Western Ballers. 8 p.m. at the UB Gymnasium. Then Saturday night, the Dan Grieger Dream Ballers try to make a last push in the standings versus the dangerous San Pedro Tiger Sharks. 8 p.m. at the Russell Chiste Auditorium. And in Corazon, the Corazon Spartans, fresh off their first win, faces the test against the bad boys from the city, the Belize City Defenders. 8 p.m. at the Andres Campos Stadium. Giveaways, the NEBL girls, plus the National Sports Council and Fui Bolido $5,000 halftime shooting challenge. Come out and rally behind your team this NEBL weekend. Sponsored by the Government of Belize.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
Belize, your voice is shaping our future. The Ministry of E-Governance is hosting National ID Project public consultations, and we're coming to you. Orange Walk, you're up first. Thursday, April 23rd at Central Park, 6 p.m. Come, learn, share, and help build a better ID system for all Belize. Then Belize City, it's your turn. Join us Friday, April 24th at the Biltmore Plaza at 5:30 p.m. Show up, speak up, because your voice matters in creating a smarter, more connected Belize.
Town called Freedom and Mars Production present an event you can't afford to miss.
It's the Belize Music World Festival, Saturday, April 25th, 2026.
At the spacious Marion Jones Stadium. This annual event is geared to give you the very best in music, food, and artistry.
The Belize Music World Festival.
Headlines with two of Reggae World's very best performers. The one and only Mr. Siggy himself.
Taurus Rock.
With the very first time in Belize, Reggae Prince of Reggae Royal Family,
Skip Marley.
I just wanna be close. With his band. And also featuring on this momentous event is Pen Cayetano with his band. And Jay Cass with his band. Yes, Belize, it's a full-on band show. Also backing up this show is DJ Jago, DJ Console, DJ Cad, DJ Smurf, and Clark, and Rasen Jaro. Firestarter sound. It's all hosted by DJ Dollar. So mark the date and don't be late. April 25th. Gates open at 7 for showtime at 8 at the Marion Jones Stadium. Ticket prices are bleachers $41. General admission $61. VIP $151. For Ultra Boost $2,500. Also available. Cocktail tables for VIP area only. Sponsors are A Town Called Freedom, Mars Production, Monisco, Pelican, Travelers Liquor, BTV, Niche, Channel 5, Channel 7, Love FM, and Love TV, Trim Radio and TV, and Cellular World.
After weeks of uneasy talks and warnings of possible bus shutdowns, there's finally a truce on the road. Government officials and bus operators have struck a deal on new bus fares, easing tensions sparked by rising fuel costs. The agreement follows a high-level meeting ordered by Cabinet to hear out the concerns of the Belize Bus Association and private operators. The result is a mixed bag for commuters. Some routes may see modest fare hikes, while others could actually get cheaper. Both sides say the goal is to keep buses running without overburdening passengers. Here's how the Belize Bus Association president sums up the outcome of the talks.
I am pleased to say that we came to an agreement with the alignment of the price structure, and I can share with the general public that there will be certain areas that there will be some savings and decrease in certain prices, whereby certain prices were higher than in some other area. And there will be a little bit of increase in certain areas where would be probably 25 cents in some, 50 cents in some, 75 cents or $1, or maybe $1.50 in some areas. And also was discussed was the sharp drop would now be aligned from the $2.50 to $3 for any sharp drop within a 10-mile radius. But of course, this needs to be gazetted and finalized by the Department of Transport. And once they get the go-ahead from the minister and the department, and then they will set a date as to when we can start to implement the alignment price structure. Certain areas that was like $5 or $6 will now be $4 or $3. And certain areas that was like $7, it will go down a little bit. And then certain areas have been adjusted, so it kind of balance off. So some commuters will see some savings. And I can say the discussion was for us to minimize as much as possible and align the structure properly. And this is where the cost saving will be reduced for some of the commuters, because what we have went through, it was a tedious process, and both parties was mindful of the commuters and the daily riders and the present state in which we are in from the war, you know. So it was a tedious process, and we had our back and forth to ensure that the public is have been maximum consideration in terms of minimizing the high cost in transportation for them.
For now, fares will remain unchanged until next week, when the Department of Transport finalizes the new tier pricing system. If you own a firearm or are thinking about applying for a license, you may want to pay close attention. Belize's Firearms and Ammunition Control Board is overhauling the country's gun licensing system, easing restrictions in some areas while tightening the screws in others. The changes spell out who can apply, what documentation is now required, and which firearm accessories are permitted. Officials say the goal is simple: better public awareness and stronger oversight. News 5's Shane Williams breaks down what's changing and what it means for you.
The Firearms and Ammunition Control Board says owning a gun in Belize is a privilege, not a right, and it's tightening public understanding of that message. The board has lifted the moratorium on .223 caliber rifle applications and eased rules on some accessories, but officials say education is the real focus. According to the Ministry of Defense and Border Security CEO Francis Usher, the priority is making sure the public clearly understands how the licensing system works.
The new board that was established in December of last year, we went through extensive consultations across the board with the general public, with dealers, with current firearm owners, and one of the common themes was that information wasn't readily accessible. So we wanted to get that information out there. We felt it prudent to put a public notice that outlines it, because when this cloud of doubt exists, that's when agents thrive, and we wanted to have people understand that you don't need to go through an agent to get a firearm. All the information is there. You can apply, you deliver it to the Firearms Control Board office, and your application will be deliberated by the board.
The board also clears the way for certain firearm adaptations without additional approval, saying accessories like scopes, weapon lights, and even micro-conversion kits don't change a firearm's classification or lethality. That might be legal on paper, but does it match how people actually use these adaptations? And who draws the line between an accessory and something more dangerous?
What we found was that the main distinction that should be made is, does it affect the velocity or the manner in which the round comes out of the chamber? That's where we draw the line. And a red dot or a green dot sight, flashlight, these lasers, they don't typically affect how the round comes out of the chamber. What it does is it makes the firearm more accurate. And if you are a licensed firearm holder, we have already vetted you, we have already determined that we trust you to safely and legally operate a firearm, then why not have you safely and legally operate it more accurately with these accessories?
At the same time, the FACB plans to lift the moratorium on new .223 rifle licensing beginning June 1st, 2026. The ban put in place in February of 2024 was supposed to give time for an audit and review. Now the board admits that audit still isn't finished. So why end the moratorium now?
It was for an audit to be done on 223 based on public outcry. I think the public outcry was based on an incident following a funeral where a rifle was pulled out. Now, coyotes are ravaging cattle in the north and along the border with Guatemala as well. Coyotes have a keen sense of smell, so you can't get close enough to them to shoot them with a shotgun, and the 22 rifles weren't doing anything to kind of keep them away from the cattle. And certain farmers were losing as many as 2-3 cattle a night. That's thousands of dollars.
Even as the moratorium ends and rules loosen, accountability is shifting, especially to gun dealers. Under the new framework, licensed dealers take on a bigger role in enforcement. Applicants must now complete training and pass a competency test at a certified firearms school before their applications move forward. Stakeholders say they welcome the added responsibility.
There has never been an issue with licensed firearm holders in the country of Belize. You have very minimal incidents when it comes to licensed firearm holder. Nothing on God's green earth is perfect, and the percentage of incidents that come from firearm holders, licensed firearm holders, is way below 1%. So there has never been an issue, and we have an excellent compliance rate. And the board acknowledges that, and they are acting based on the information, based on the facts, right? So once again, I commend them. They're very knowledgeable, and all these decisions, I believe, are in the benefit of public safety and public interest.
The goals for the Firearms Control Board are easier access in some areas, stricter vetting in others, and a nationwide push to ensure that every gun owner understands the law before they ever pull the trigger. Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
As the Firearms Control Board rolls back restrictions on certain gun accessories and lifts the long-standing ban on the .223 rifle, an old question is back on the table. Where is all the ammunition going? For years, Belizeans have raised concerns that bullets are leaking from the legal system into criminal hands, with licensed gun holders accused of supplying the black market. Now, with broader access being granted, the worry is whether that pipeline could widen. Is the system ready for that risk? We put that question to Francis Usher, CEO in the Ministry of National Defense and a member of the Firearms Control Board. He says the response is tighter oversight, digital tracking, batch monitoring, and random spot checks designed to keep license holders accountable and ammunition where it belongs.
The way that we are trying to increase the trackability of firearms and ammunition, especially so we can prevent it from getting into the hands of the criminals, we're trying to digitize things, and there are several programs that we are putting into place and that we are further developing. They exist, we're further developing on them to ensure that when you, we're putting a mechanism in place, it's not fully ready yet, but we're putting a mechanism in place that when you go as a licensed firearm holder to buy ammunition for your licensed firearm, the moment you buy it, it's in a system and we can track how many rounds you bought, when you bought it, what was the batch number, so that the intent is that we will then move into doing random spot checks. Okay, you say you bought 200 rounds on this day. Have you gone to the range? If so, when? When did you go? What was the range? We'll confirm with the range. And if you haven't gone to the range, then you should be in possession of this amount of ammunition. Where is it? And so we are building on that. It's not a perfect system yet. It probably never will be a perfect system, but every day that the board is there, we try to develop it so that it gets safer for Belizeans.
Usher says while the system is still evolving, the goal is to close the gaps before they're exploited and ensure that every round sold can be accounted for. Another police officer is facing serious domestic violence charges just days after a similar case collapsed in court. This morning, PC Mercedes Chiak of the GI3 unit appeared before the Belize City Magistrates Court, charged with use of deadly means of harm and wounding his common-law wife, Rosie Munoz. Prosecutors told the court they are awaiting directions from the Director of Public Prosecutions on whether the case will proceed in the Magistrates Court or the High Court, and no plea was taken. Munoz was escorted to court by police but was not allowed inside the courtroom. We understand she intended to withdraw the charges. Chiak was granted bail of $2,000 and is due back in court on June 9th. The charges stem from a violent incident on April 19th on Riverside Street. Police say Munoz reported being beaten, choked, and later stabbed in the neck after Chiak allegedly grabbed a knife from the kitchen. Chiak also suffered a stab wound to the neck. A doctor later classified Munoz's injuries as wounding. The case comes on the heels of another controversy involving PC Philip Garbut, whose domestic violence charges were withdrawn earlier this week after the complainant sought to back out. After the break, construction is rising fast on a $33 million hospital set to change healthcare in San Pedro. But first, here's tonight's weather forecast from the National Met Service.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower Belize.
Tourism in the Caribbean is evolving, and the way we grow it matters more than ever.
The Sustainable Tourism Conference 2026 is the Caribbean's premier space for forward-thinking tourism leaders. The conference will be held in San Pedro and Burgess Key from the 27th to the 30th of April. And the conference is hosted by the Belize Tourism Board and the Caribbean Tourism Organization.
If you are part of the tourism industry, whether in hospitality, a tour operator, or managing a destination, this is for you.
This year's theme, Tourism in Full Color, explores how we grow tourism sustainably and inclusively across the blue, green, orange, and purple economies.
You'll gain practical experience, connect with regional and international leaders, and you will drive the future of tourism in Belize and the wider Caribbean.
And getting involved is simple. Registration is quick and easy with multiple payment options to suit your needs.
So, if you've been thinking about attending,
now is the time.
Join us.
See you in Belize at STC 2026.
Hello, I am Roy Reyes, owner of Fina Purified Water Corozal Tong. I am the proud owner of 3 Jack trucks. These trucks are very reliable, spacious, fuel efficient, and I would advise any business owner, try Jack. You'll be very satisfied with their performance.
Change is taking shape every day. It all starts with Game Changers. Investing in modern transport, better health infrastructure, renewable power for all, digital transformation, and more opportunities for a brighter future, the European Union's Global Gateway Initiative is unlocking new potential. Game Changers are bringing this to life. Game Changers, empowering the future. Follow the EU in Belize to meet the Game Changers.
Every idea starts with a curious mind. You're the girls who will build the future.
And that's what Girls in Tech is all about, helping you learn, discover, and see what is possible.
Each of you, if you want, you can be the innovators of the future.
The long-term objectives is to amplify their minds and the opportunities.
After days of mounting pressure from Caye Caulker residents, including protests and a formal petition led by the village council, government is reversing course on a controversial proposal that raised fears about the future of the island's police station. At the center of the backlash was an offer involving the very parcel earmarked for the long-promised police station, which fueled concerns not only that the project could be derailed, but the island's prized property would go into private hands. Tonight, Area Representative for Belize Rural South, Andrew Perez, says those concerns have been heard. The offer is no longer being entertained, and construction on the Caye Caulker police station will resume at parcel 815.
We are listening to the concerns and so what the village of Caye Caulker, the community wants, is that they want the police station to proceed where it is right now on parcel 8115. So as such, we decided to agree that, we will move forward and, construction will resume. The mobilization again of the contractor will be starting this coming week right now. So it just will take some time to the logistics to start, but yes, it will be starting this coming week. So we're expecting it to start this coming week.
And your message to Caye Caulker residents?
I just want to tell them, of course, as always, that I respect the wishes, as always, the people of Caye Caulker. There was, although it might have seemed that, we were moving along without consulting, it remains clear, and I want to make it clear to the community of Caye Caulker that it was just an offer made to us. There was nothing confirmed, there was nothing negotiated, there was no paperwork in place. I said, this is what it is. There was an offer, and then Easter came in, and that's when the contractor took a break. And that's when I said, well, let's take a pause and look at it further. And I do know that before the Easter time, the Caye Caulker Village Council, namely, I think the deputy mayor reached out to me on it, and that's what she heard. And I explained to her exactly what it was being made to us. At no time, the property had been sold or was being sold. It was just an offer made. I made it clear to her. And also that I recommended to her, actually, I advised her she should check with Chair Lady, who was aware of it more or less I was coming around. But there was nothing concrete. And until now, we just reached to that, so it never went further than that.
While government says construction will resume, the controversy has exposed deep concerns within the Caye Caulker community about transparency and decision-making over public lands. Village Council Chair Lady Selene Villanueva-Pot, who helped lead the charge, says residents remain cautious, arguing that initial statements were unclear. But the community's unified stand has sent a strong message that Parcel 815 must remain for the people. She says the village is moving forward with its petition and still exploring legal options to ensure ownership of the property is turned over to the village council.
I just got a chance to look at the release, and for me, I feel it's rather vague. I believe that's an excellent community spirit that we've displayed over the last 2 weeks. The Caye Caulker community have made it absolutely clear that they will take nothing else but Parcel 815 back. We have launched the petition. We're still collecting numbers. I believe Councillor Rosado is still working on seeing how he gets a meeting. But we have all intentions to continue the fight. If we need to take legal action, the community has also said that they will back us with the legal action. We are in communication with 2 different lawyers to see where we are. So we're hoping that we could make progress. I believe today we got some sort of reassurance that the negotiations have completed. I think that's what my minister's release had said. So I believe we could say Parcel 815 will be returned to the Caye Caulker community. I'm hoping I'm not jumping the gun again, but we sincerely hope that it's given to the Caye Caulker community, to the Caye Caulker Village Council, who are the overseers in the Caye Caulker community.
Chair Lady Selene Villanueva-Pot says the property was private land donated to the Caye Caulker community, so it should be in the village council's name. After years of planning, construction is now gaining momentum on the San Pedro and Caye Caulker General Hospital, a facility set to become Belize's second largest hospital and only its second tertiary level center. The long-awaited healthcare upgrade is finally rising, and it could change how thousands of people in northern Belize get medical care. The $33 million project, funded by the Republic of China Taiwan, is being closely watched as a major expansion of the country's healthcare system. Today, Area Representative Andrew Perez toured the construction site and said the pace is promising. If all stays on track, the hospital could open its doors as early as December.
I'm pleased to see that it's happening very rapidly. The building is coming along. And of course, we're scheduled that if all goes well, that we will be wrapping up by December. Then any quite delays going up even plus, but that's around that time that is coming along. Again, due to weather, we're looking at it, but right now it's dry season, so they're moving swiftly. And this is supposed to take advantage of it. So it's a beautiful hospital. I'm very much excited. This is something good for Burgess Caye and Caye Caulker as well. Very, very important that this hospital is going to serve both communities. And according to the contractor, they're sharing with me the size of the hospital makes it actually, if I'm not mistaken, it could be potentially the second largest hospital in the entire country next to HMH. So that's exciting. That's how much work that is happening here for Caye Caulker and Burgess Caye. It's a promise that they made decades ago and it never materialized.
The San Pedro and Caye Caulker General Hospital will also be a referral institution for residents on the northern coast. Still ahead, private landowners caught in a long-running Maya land dispute down south.
Insurance, your security, our priority.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
Look here, your kitchen light there, and you've been in the kitchen.
But I'm going back in there right now.
And the coffee maker?
Just to try to keep my coffee warm for later.
Where do you know?
I'll try to think more to eat.
You know, the more you open or close the fridge, it takes longer for the food cool. For a hot day like today, it burns more energy. You charge your phone right now?
No.
Plug it out then. You really only wash 2 Lee socks and 1 Lee shirt? You don't know what small load burn the same amount of electricity as large loads?
But this is my favorite shirt.
You have to be more energy efficient. Use large loads. This AC they blow hard. You know, if you keep the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius or higher, you burn less energy and you also keep the place cool. And for a nice day like today, turn off the AC, open up the house and make some fresh breeze come in.
You know what? I think I get it now. As consumers, we need to be more energy efficient and practice energy conservation.
Haven't updated your information recently? Well, kick off the new year as a winner. RF&G Insurance is giving you a free chance to win every month. Entering is easy. Just chat with us on WhatsApp and update your information. That's it. You'll be automatically entered into our monthly raffle for a chance to win awesome prizes. Don't wait. Message us on WhatsApp and update your info today. RF&G Insurance. It pays to get it right.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower Belize.
In southern Belize, the debate over Maya customary land rights is no longer just a policy issue. It's playing out on the ground, village by village, with tensions still running high in the Toledo district. Private landowners say they're caught in the middle, holding legal title to their property while facing growing pressure from communal land claims by neighboring Maya villages. The Toledo Private and Lease Landowners Limited warns that the clash of rights and expectations is fueling friction across communities. Now, as efforts continue to legislate Maya land rights, the Office of Indigenous Peoples Affairs finds itself walking a delicate line. Today, Director Gustavo Riqueña explains how his office is working to ease tensions and keep dialogue alive.
Really, it is about trying to strike that balance between the competing interests, really, because you have the private landowners who have and own land within this within the 41 communities, and then you have communities that are saying, well, we want communal land, and as a Maya person, it is easy to understand why it is that the Maya people want communal land, because it's a part of our heritage. That is how we work. That is our dependency on the land for our very existence, whether that be our food, our spiritual needs, and all of these other elements that make us Maya people. At the same time, we can understand that we have over 8,000 private landowners within this district, and the Constitution protects their rights to private property. And so it is about trying to create this balance, and that is what the Office of Indigenous Peoples Affairs does, trying to be that neutral voice in all of this discussion. And it's not easy.
Lawmakers drag their feet on long-promised land rights legislation in the Toledo district. Frustration is boiling over, and the standoff shows no signs of easing. Private and lease landowners, Maya communities, and the Toledo Alcaldes Association all say they feel unheard, each pressing competing claims as tensions linger. The government insists it's still committed to finishing the process, even after years of delays. Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs CEO Chester Williams admits the issue is likely headed back to court, but says the administration is determined to get the legislation across the finish line before its term ends.
When it comes to the legislation, the draft legislation that we currently have, there is going to be more litigations coming out of this. Certainly we do have the private landowners and private and lease landowners who believe that their interest is not being looked after, and then have the Mayan Alliance and the TA who believe the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, there is a lot being said out there that the government is not doing nothing. And I want to make it emphatically clear that this government is committed to seeing this process through.
Why is the process taking so long?
The Prime Minister have given the instruction to the minister to make sure this is done, and our minister is committed in making sure that it is done within this term of government. Now, I don't want to bash nobody, but I listened to Ms. Liselle Alamia yesterday, and we all know Liselle to be an action-packed person. She's not a person who lays back. She's very aggressive. When she wants to get something done, she's going to get it done. But we must recall that she was the Commissioner of Indigenous People Affairs for 5 years, and she could not have gotten this done. I don't think it was because of her not wanting to, but she didn't because of the complexity of the issue. If it were easy, she would have gotten it done when she was there within that 5 years' time. We are doing a lot to make sure that we get this done. Mr. Rekena is on the grounds every day in the communities, meeting with people. The minister have not shied away from nobody. Everyone who comes to see him, including, he have also sat down with Lisel, and Lisel had also provided some very good information to us and to the minister in terms of what she did when she was there, and those things that she provide some guidance to us. So we're grateful for her assistance in this respect. But we have to understand it is not something that the government can just wake up one morning and say, we're going to do this to help the people. We have to ensure that we look after the interests of every person who are affected.
For now, stakeholders remain divided as the government pushes ahead with a process officials say is complex but unavoidable. Up next, the Climate Forum wraps with a warning. Expect less rain ahead.
The future is calling. Belize Bank. Your future, our commitment.
Protect your motor, secure your property. Oh yeah, Home Protector Insurance got you covered, you see. Covered, you see. From motor to property, and even marine. We'll keep you safe no matter where you've been. No matter where you've been, no matter where you've been. Get the peace of mind that only we can bring. Oh yeah, with our insurance you will never fret or sing. Never fret or sing. We offer bonds and so much more, so much more. Home Protector Insurance, we got what you're looking for, what you're looking for. Secure your...
All right, you're all set. I'll swap out the water inlet valve and everything is running normally.
Amazing. So what will be the cost?
Oh, for you? There's no cost.
No cost? I'm flattered, but I'm actually married.
Oh no, nothing like that. It's actually part of our 1-year warranty policy.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Don't worry, it happens all the time.
Really?
No.
Belize's only full-service GE USA dealer. Full service, full warranty, full selection. GE Appliances. Good things for life. Available at Design Depot. All in one place.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
Here's what's coming up this fun Friday on Open Your Eyes. We're opening phone lines to viewers to share their thoughts on recent news like child abuse and the rise in kidnappings. Next, The Belize Tourism Board and Winesmith is turning up the vibes with Vines in Paradise, showcasing Belize to the world with rich wine flavors. Looking for a smarter way to move? EcoMotion Belize is rolling out adult electric scooters, clean, modern, and built for the future. And get ready for an unforgettable experience as the Belize Music World Festival brings the heat with Taras Riley and Skip Marley live on stage. Tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. on Open Your Eyes and start your morning right.
After 3 days of crunching climate data, the Regional Climate and Hydrological Forum wrapped up today in Belize City. The big question on the table: what kind of rains are coming between May and July? With unusual showers already seen in April, experts say La Niña is fading and El Niño is taking hold. A shift that could mean drier conditions and less rainfall across Belize and Central America. Minister of Sustainable Development Orlando Habet says that change makes this year's forecast especially important, as new technologies and shared data are helping countries prepare for what lies ahead.
The finalization or closing of the session for the outlook for climate and hydrology, which is very important, and my understanding is that it's happening for many years, and it is rotated amongst the different countries in Central America. And what they do is they share information, but they also share experiences amongst all the countries, so that they can have a broad and very good idea, especially with incoming new technologies, to be able to do the forecasting of events, whether it's climate or hydrology, water, right? And so the presentations in the end are showing us that in this year we'll have the phenomenon of El Niño slowly taking over the past phenomenon of La Niña. And we saw some rains even up to early April, so which was, for many of us, was something that we haven't seen for some time. And so it's very important because this information is shared, especially for early warning systems in case there's going to be a hurricane, so that people can start preparing very early in the year. But very important for the agriculture community, because they want to know when it is the best time to prepare their lands, when it is the best time to do their planting, so that then we can have food security for our people. So very, very important.
For Belize's farmers, the rainfall outlook isn't just numbers on a chart. It's the difference between a good harvest and a failed crop. With experts now predicting below normal rains for May through July, the Ministry of Agriculture says accurate forecasts are critical to guide planting and harvesting decisions. Director of Extension Andrew Mejia explains why the forecast matters so much for farmers on the ground.
Accurate forecast is super important for us because it allows us to tell the farmers, you know what, it's a good time to plant, or it's not a good time to plant, or if it's a good time to harvest, or it's not a very good time to harvest. So we use it as a guide to ensure that our farmers are able to sustain their livelihood. Right now, it's looking like we'll be having a below normal rainfall for the months of May, June, and July. And these are forecasts that we use to guide our farmers, because normally around this time, farmers are preparing the land to plant as the first rain would come, or in the months of June specifically. So what the forecast is looking at, we're a bit cautious, because when farmers went ahead and planted, and there was a drought that followed immediately after that. If there's a possibility for the El Niño this year, we want to make sure that we are prepared and our farmers are prepared. In light of that, currently the ministry is partnering with the World Food Program and the National Meteorological Service of Belize to provide farmers with assistance in a project called Anticipatory Action. This is specifically in preparation for drought. which we're expecting during those months that's coming. At the ministry, we work closely with the National Meteorological Service of Belize. We have a great relationship with them, and we have noticed that over the years, their accuracy has been improving, and we continue to commend them on that. The 3 months forecast, we tend to believe them, and we want to ensure that they're giving us the right information, because that is the information we take to our farmers.
So while the forecast points to drier months ahead, the takeaway for farmers is clear. Wait, watch, and plan carefully. Before we leave you, here's tonight's viewer's voice on our first story: relief for commuters as bus fare deal reached. E.A. Lopez Obrador commented, "Short drop or long drop. However the distance may be, the bus fare must follow the 18 cents per mile as for regular runs as stipulated by law. Please stop with your nonsense and stop confusing commuters." Turning to construction of Caye Caulker Police Station to resume, Ramon Noel Reyes shared, "To me, this statement means no further negotiation with the people of Caye Caulker. It does not say that the police station will be built where it was. It is vague and does not put me and, I'm sure, many island residents at peace. We are still having a protest today. We will not stop until they understand. 95% of the island is united with wanting a parcel 815 to house our police station like it has for so many years. But it seems they do not care about these voices. It is clear that they don't." And finally, digital story: United States appoints new ambassador to Belize. Mark Miller shared, "An ambassador is important for maintaining and strengthening the relationship between Belize and the United States, regardless of who holds the position. If confirmed, Andre Bauer will likely bring a particular focus shaped by his background." Thank you for engaging with us online. Your voices shape the national conversation. Keep those comments coming, and we'll continue to feature them right here. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook, and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.